There's no shortage of cruise hack videos that promise to save you money. I know because, well, I've shared plenty of them myself. But after taking more than 50 cruises in the past 2.5 years, something's changed. I started noticing that some of the tips everyone talks about really barely move the needle, while some of the things I personally do to save money almost nobody even mentions. So that's what this video is all about, the things I personally do to save money every time I cruise. And while you could sit through an art auction for a free glass of not so great champagne, I'd rather focus on the decisions that can actually save you hundreds and sometimes even thousands on your cruise vacation. Oh, and if we haven't met yet, I'm Evan from Family at Sea. If this is your first time watching my channel, I'm glad you're here. And if you've been here a while, you already know how much I appreciate you. If you're ready, I am. Let's go. Before we get into everything else, let's start with the cruise itself because, well, this is usually where I save the most money. Now, you'll hear people say the best time to book is the moment new itineraries are released, 18 to 24 months before sailing. And that can absolutely work, but I've found the opposite works best for me. I usually book after final payment date when cruise lines are desperately trying to sell unsold inventory just to fill their ships. Now, this probably isn't the strategy if you're trying to book the most in-demand ships during the most in-demand times to cruise, but sometimes you can get lucky even then, like I did recently when I snagged a solo studio cabin on the brand new Norwegian Luna back in April for only $845 for a 7-day sailing, while I met others on the same sailing who paid more than $2,000 for the same exact thing, which I felt bad for them, but that just goes to show how much you can save. So yeah, it's a gamble and you need to be flexible, but this is without a doubt one of the biggest reasons I'm personally able to afford to cruise as often as I do. But there's another way that I save tons on cruises as well, and that's with something called group rates. And if you're wondering why you've never seen these yourself or maybe even heard of them, that's because you can't get access to them on your own, and the rates aren't allowed to be advertised because the cruise lines know nobody would pay their higher rates if they saw they can pay so much less. But top travel agencies with buying power negotiate rates of large blocks of cabins on sailings years in advance by committing to sell that inventory in exchange for special low rates. Then, as the public prices climb over time, those agencies are still sitting on cabins at the much lower rate they secured in advance. And the best of those agencies can even combine the lower fare with onboard credit or other perks to sweeten the deal even further. The catch, though, is that you need to know how to find the travel agencies that have that access to those lower group rates. And that's one of the reasons we always book through Cruises It. They've saved us money, unlocked perks we didn't even know we qualified for, and always make sure we don't end up like Frank, who called me the other day excited to let me know, "Evan, I just booked one heck of a deal on a cruise that was 60% off. Tell me where you can find a better deal than that." I just said to him, "Frank, I just booked the same cruise for $500 less, and they've been running that sale you booked since the Obama administration." With their low price guarantee and actual humans who know cruising inside and out, Cruises It makes planning your cruise simpler, cheaper, and a whole lot less stressful. So click the link in the description below or call the number on the screen and tell them Evan from Family at Sea sent you. You'll be glad you did. And if you had to fly to your cruise like I almost always do, I always start with Google Flights. I've tried a bunch of different tools for finding the best flight prices, but I keep coming back to this one. It searches fares across a huge number of airlines and makes it really easy to see what your options are without having to jump between a dozen different websites. But what I really like is that it gives you some context around the current prices. So it'll tell you whether the fare you're seeing is low, typical, or high for that particular trip, and help you decide whether it makes sense to book now or to go ahead and wait and hope for a better price. And if the price isn't where you want it yet, just turn on price tracking and Google will keep watching it for you and send you an alert to when the price does drop so you know when it's time to book your flight. And while you're comparing flights, don't limit yourself to the airport everyone else is using. South Florida is a perfect example. A cruise from Miami doesn't necessarily mean you have to fly into Miami. I'll typically check Fort Lauderdale and West Palm Beach because I've seen the difference between those airports turn into hundreds of dollars in savings. Now, you do have to factor in a more expensive Uber to get to the port following your flight, but if adding an extra hour in an Uber saves me a few $100, well, that's an easy decision for me. Another place I save on flights has nothing to do with finding a cheaper ticket. But if there's an airline you fly regularly, take a look at its credit cards and actually do the math on the benefits. I have a Delta SkyMiles card that gives me 2 free checked bags on domestic flights, along with preferred boarding, and I also got a pretty sweet sign-up bonus as well. But there's a giant asterisk here. This only saves you money if you pay the card off every month. If you're carrying a balance and paying credit card interest to earn airline miles, the math falls apart pretty quickly. And since you should always arrive at least a day before your cruise if you're flying in, you're gonna need a hotel too. And this is another place where I use, yeah, you guessed it, Google. Google Hotels lets me compare rates from different booking sites all in one place, see how the price compares to what the hotel normally charges, and quickly look at other options nearby. One thing to note there is, unlike booking cruises, I always book hotels direct with the hotels, because if there's any issues and you book through a because if there's any issues and you book through a third-party site, good luck getting somebody to help. But for figuring out what a hotel should cost and finding the best options without checking a dozen different websites, Google Hotels is where I always start. Alright, so you've saved a bundle booking your cruise and making your way there. So now let's talk about how I keep from spending more than I need to once I'm actually on board. One of the easiest places to start is with what the cruise lines let you bring with you. Policies vary, but some cruise lines will let you bring things like a 12-pack of soda, a case of bottled water, or even a bottle of wine on board. And that means you've got drinks sitting in your cabin whenever you want them instead of heading out every time you're thirsty, and it saves you a few bucks in the process too. Just be sure to check your cruise line's current rules before you start packing, because what you can bring and how much varies from one cruise line to another. And remember, you'll have to carry your drinks on versus putting them in your checked bags. All right, this next one is going to sound a little counterintuitive in a video that's supposed to be about spending less money, but sometimes spending a bit of money early in the cruise can help you save a lot of money later on. And well, here's what I mean. Once I've had a chance to explore the ship and figure out which bar is probably going to be my hangout for the week, I'll typically find one or two of the bartenders that I vibe with, as the kids would say, and I'll hook them up with a good tip, maybe an extra $20 or even $50 at the end of day one if they're really good. And I never do it expecting anything in return, but almost every time I've done this, those bartenders have taken care of me too. Sometimes that means a stronger pour, so I'm buying fewer drinks, but other times I end up getting the occasional free drink throughout the cruise. And there's a nice side benefit here as well, because bartenders remember who takes care of them. And so when that bar gets packed and people are fighting for drinks and they see you waiting for one, well, you're never going to have to wait very long. If you're planning to get a massage on board, skip the embarkation day madness when everybody is racing to book their services and the spa has no reason to discount anything. Instead, the vast majority of cruises I go on typically end up offering steep discounts on spa services during the last 2 to 3 days of the cruise. You may not necessarily get the perfect time, but to save an extra 30 to 50% off those inflated cruise ship prices, it's well worth it. And I have one more spa rule. Before my massage starts, I tell the therapist there's a $20 tip waiting for them at the end, as long as they promise not to try to sell me anything. Since I started doing that, I haven't had to spend the last 10 minutes of a massage explaining why I don't need an $80 massage oil a single time. If you're on a ship where drinks are complimentary in the casino while you're playing, there's a way I've learned to make the most of that. I'll sit down with a small amount of money I'm completely comfortable losing, play for a little while until a bartender comes over and offers me a drink, and then I'll give them a $5 tip when they deliver it, which keeps them coming back to me every time they see me after that. But then I'm done. That's the important part, because if you lose $200 trying to save $15 on a drink, well, congratulations, you've just discovered the world's most expensive drink package. One of the biggest places I save money on cruises is in port, because I almost never book excursions through the cruise line. A lot of people are terrified to book independently because they're convinced one delayed tour is going to leave them standing on the pier while their ship sails away. But I've booked literally hundreds of independent tours all over the world, and I've never come close to missing the ship. But the cruise lines want people to cling to that irrational fear, so they keep booking their overpriced tours. But good local tour operators work with cruise passengers every single day. They know when the ships leave, and getting their customers back on time is essential if they want to stay in business. And well, they know it. I even asked one of my guides recently if he's ever had somebody miss the ship. And he just said, Evan, I've never had somebody miss the ship. But if I was ever in a situation where I thought it was even going to be close, this is a small island. I would just call my buddy who drives a shuttle for one of the cruise lines and say, hey man, I'm running late. I need you to help me out. And he'd slow his shuttle down and give me time to catch up. It just made total sense, right? They know that it's essential for them to provide a good experience for their guests because they want tourists to keep coming back again and again and again. Which, when I thought about it, it makes total sense. Of course they know each other, right? But look, when you book the local guide, you're not only helping like a local tour guide, their family, but you're also likely saving a whole bunch of money in the process. You're going to get a better tour with a smaller group, or a lot of times a private group. But you're also going to see so much more, be able to experience more. It's just a completely different port day experience than you get when you go on those big cruise line tours. But here's the bad news. Saving money on an excursion doesn't mean much if you spend the first few hours you have at the port wishing you'd done something completely different. But the good news, after all of those, I've finally figured out a system for planning the perfect port day every time. So don't stop here, watch that video next, and I'll show you how to avoid the mistakes that can turn the day you were looking forward to the most into the biggest disappointment of your cruise. I'll see you over there. If you're ready, I am. Let's go.